All right? And Google alone will make almost 4 times that money. And behind Google, Google's not the only company. There's Yahoo, there's MSN, there's India Times, Rediff. There's tens of thousands of businesses that have learned that the way to survive and offer better advertising options to an advertiser is to be able to allow an advertiser to target the audience more directly. So a lot of what you learn about today is careers in this new field. In the old field, it was very much, I'll make an ad and put it up. If people want to see it, fine. If they don't, don't. You will discover today that the world has changed completely, 360 degrees. It's now all about saying, let me understand the consumer. And when the consumer is looking for me, only then will I turn up, or I won't turn up. So that is what a lot of the world is now coming to. And there are 2 or 3 other interesting changes that are happening. In the traditional world of advertising, how many of you have worked in an advertising agency before? Few. Okay. In the traditional world of advertising, what would happen is that if I want an office in Delhi, I'll set up an entire office in Delhi and have copywriters, art directors, media buyers, blah, 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 everything in Delhi. If I want an office in, say, Dubai, I'll set up an entire office. If I want an office in China, I'll set up an entire office. You know, wherever I go, I'll set up an entire clone of myself. In this new world, something different is happening with relation to India. What's really happening is just like 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the world started offshoring technology to India. And that's when Infosys, Wipro, TCS started growing. That's when they were in the boom phases. Now they're kind of over the hill. Today what's happened is that the world has started offshoring its online marketing to India. And there are companies all over here that will talk to you about that today. So I run a company called Pinstorm. We are about 110, 120 people. We have 6 offices, 2 of them in India, 1 in Delhi, 1 in Bombay. But other offices are in San Francisco, Beijing, Singapore, Malaysia. We're actually India's first multinational ad agency. And we do work with clients in 10, 12 countries. And the amazing thing is all the creative, all the media buying, the copy, art, everything is done in India. So we have a client in Singapore who wants to advertise to China in the Chinese language. The copy and the art is done in Bombay. We have a client in Russia who wants to advertise in Spain. All of it is done in Bombay. The world has changed. So once upon a time, all you had was a low-end BPO processes that were being offshored to India. Today you have extremely high-end, intelligent, creative processes that are being offshored to India. In fact, today we think we are among the largest in Southeast Asia, if not the largest agencies. Today, over half of our revenues come from clients outside of India. And in the future, this is only going to grow. So when we talk about online marketing careers in India, it's not just about the Indian market. So let me talk about the Indian market. The Indian market last year was in just search advertising was about 70 crores and the rest of advertising was about 120 crores. So it was about 190 crore market last year. This year search and search driven alone has become, and all of it together put together is about 600 crores. It's gone from 190 crores to 600 crores in 1 year. Our internal predictions say it will cross about 1,000 crores next year and 1,800 crores a year after that. There is no medium in the history of the world that is tripling, doubling, tripling, doubling, tripling, doubling every year. Everything else grows at 5%, 10%. Here, if you grow at less than 100%, people look at the company and say, what's wrong with you? It is booming like madness. And as a result of this, all of us who are in the business of starting agencies, so there's us, there's many other companies that you'll listen to today, are standing up and saying, guys, we don't have the people yet to be able to power these needs that the world is placing on us. The world is turning to us with its need for advertising and marketing. We don't have the people yet. What's really happened is, even if you look at our education system, we've been trained to produce either, once upon a time it was the FMCG people, so you did your college and then your MBA and then joined a multinational bank. Then came the age of the IT company. So you did all of this stuff, you went to NIT Aptech and you went and joined a IT company as a programmer. The sad fact is nobody has trained us for a career in marketing. Then came the financial services companies. But the basic art of marketing, communication, persuasion, writing, design, these are things that our education system is still far behind on catching us upon. It's critical to the point that today, simple things like you cannot have an ad approved unless the spelling is correct. You'd be really surprised that when we do a simple spelling test, how many people can't spell properly. We're so used to spelling on the SMS way that we forget what the actual spelling is because, where do you actually get to write these days? So a lot of the craft that we're looking at training people on, a lot of the people that we're looking at with skills are skills that were there in India. We produce great advertising people in this country. What's really happened is that the traditional advertising business is dying. And most good people have already left it. And they've gone into IT and gone into various other things, gone into films and showbiz and whatever it is. And we're saying it's time to revive this. Because now there's a whole world and large brands that are coming to us and saying, do our advertising from here. For that, we need people who can think globally, who can actually be intelligent. So rather than just a low-end process and, I'm doing offshore accounting for some company out there, you're actually sitting and doing advertising. You're managing brands. So when somebody joins, I'm sure the other companies will tell you about their experience. When somebody joins Pinstorm, within 1 week of training, you are actually handling an international brand in a global market. When you by handle it means you really have power. You decide what advertising goes on it. You create the advertising, you price it, you buy it. You are responsible for results. That's the kind of responsibility that we're training people to take. And that's the kind of people we're looking for, people who have a marketing streak in them, who have communication abilities, who have that ability to communicate, persuade, believe that I'm a good marketing person. I can build great brands around the world. All right? And I can do it right from here in India. So there is a huge movement that is afoot. And proof of that movement is again that the very first online marketing careers conference in the world is here in India. There is no better proof. You guys are right at the forefront of this huge revolution. Right at the forefront. This is the right place. This is the right time. I'm happy to answer questions through the day. I think there's another panel at the end of the day that I'm happy to speak on. We have about 10, 15 minutes. I'm happy to take questions, talk some more. Let's make it really interactive. Any questions, thoughts? Just put your hands up so I can recognize you. Yeah. Specifically about Pinstorm? I'll come to answer that. So any other questions which are more generic? Yes, sir? The African market? Okay, so let me answer your question first. So you'd be actually surprised that we actually are a pretty international company. We have actually an employee from Ghana. We have an employee from three people from China. One Filipino, one Russian, one German. So anywhere in the world, if you look at it today, your basic way of finding information is consumer driven. Either the consumer picks up the phone and asks, or you go online and you search, or you go and find out for yourself. In the old world, somebody had to tell you. Today, all information and all search is user driven. So we've run several campaigns where various places in Africa have been the target. There is large search volumes in Africa. So if somebody wants to connect with a customer in Africa, you would need to understand what are people in Africa. Depends, which country are you from? Nigeria. It depends, what are people in Nigeria looking for? What are people in Ghana looking for? What are people in Kenya looking for? What are people in South Africa looking for? What are people in Egypt looking for? And believe me, it's very, very, very different. Not just that, what people in Cairo look for is very different from what people in Alexandria look for. So in fact, one of the things that we do in Pinstorm, in a typical traditional part of the training is that as part of an exercise internally, each of us, each person is supposed to pick a geography where they're supposed to advertise a product. And the geographies you get include Antarctica, Argentina, Bolivia, Nicaragua, Ghana, whatever. And you're actually given a geography and you actually have to run a campaign actually in those countries and actually see the results.